What's going on, friends and family? Thank you so much for tuning in to Every Day's a Saturday with your host, me, myself, and I, Brian Roof. Hey, guys, another great day, another great interview. But before we get into my interview, I'd like to just start off by thanking each and every one of you guys for, watching, liking, sharing the show. I really appreciate it, you guys. You guys are why the podcast keeps on going the way that it does. And just please continue to like, share, and, show it out to your friends. And if you guys are over on the Spotify side, don't forget there's questions, like little polls that you can answer over there. It's just a fun way to interact with the different episodes and stuff like that. So, let's get interactive, man. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get on to my next guest. My next guest served his country proud in the United States Army, and he wasn't ready to be a Marine yet. He's an awesome dude. I got to spend a little bit of time with him over in Nebraska at Hero Stock. He's also a podcaster himself. Let's go ahead and hear all about his stories from Jonathan Crochet. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man, just stumbling over words and, all that fun stuff. How, you know how it goes.
I expect nothing less.
Well,
I almost couldn't even say that.
Look at you. Now I got you going, bro. And you don't even eat crayons like we do. So
That's right.
So what's up, brother? Hey, man, let's get to know a little bit about you and, why you joined the Army, all that fun stuff. And, hey, well, you got, your son, he likes to join in. We'll have him say hello.
He likes the bomb.
What's up, buddy?
Say hi, bud. Say hi.
Hi.
What's up, buddy?
Right. That was your shot. Your 15 minutes of
seconds,
fame right there.
There you go, brother.
I'm sorry.
No, man, you're good, man. So let's go ahead and get to know about you and where you grew up, why you chose the Army, and tell us about your Army career and what you got going on now, man.
I kind of grew up in South Louisiana. We went away for a little while, pretty much halfway through my senior year. And so when we moved to Houston, I just kind of started working and decided not to go back to school and finish my senior year. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but I did actually go to the Marine recruiter's office. And the Marines said that I had to have a high school diploma to join. And the Army's like, no, man, we just putting bodies in seats. Come on. But so no, I did go to the Marine recruiting office and ended up joining the Army, which, I mean, it wasn't a bad decision. My oldest brother was in the Army. My one sister was in the Army. So we got a little bit of history there.
Yeah, I guess
I just kind of wanted to do things different, so I thought I'd try the Marines first, but destiny had it pegged a different way.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy part is a lot of people don't realize the Marine Corps is a lot more strict when it comes to having a diploma versus not. The Army will accept a GED, the Marine Corps will not.
Yeah, and that's actually how I got in, but with a GED. But I took the ASVAB, and I'm sure I'm not the only guy that got this. You can have whatever job you want. so I did. I picked. Yep, I picked the exact job that they wanted me to have, just like they said. So and I ended up doing communications, and I was trying to get a little bonus out of it, and they said, oh, there's no bonus if you don't have a high school diploma. So I was like, okay. And then my recruiter says, I'm sure he got extra points for that. He said, if you sign up for Airborne, that has a $3,000 bonus. And I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. I'll take it. So I ended up going Airborne, and still no bonus. But besides the point, it was lasted. I got tied in with 82nd, not out of 82nd, but with a communications company attached to 82nd on Fort Bragg, and had a couple of deployments to both to Iraq. That's pretty much it, man. There was a point in time where I wanted to be promoted, and I asked my section sergeant if I could go to the E5 board, and he didn't think I was ready, and he kind of shrugged me off, and then ended up filling 2 E5 slots to go overseas. And he came to me and he said, "I was wrong about you." He said, "Whenever you're ready to go to the board." And at that point, I was just, I don't want to. I'm going to finish my term and get out, So,
what were the years? What were the years you were in?
02 to 06.
Okay.
So
yeah,
May.
And then when you got to, what were the years when you deployed?
03 to 04. So we deployed in February of 03, came back in February of 04, and deployed in November of 04 and came back in November of 05.
Was that all was that Iraq or Afghanistan?
Both were Iraq.
Both Iraq, yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you at in Iraq?
Everywhere, man. We were pretty much, we were, I don't know if I'm going to have all these details right. We were posted right outside the berm the night they declared war. We were just on the Kuwait side.
Right.
Of the
So
berm
where were you at when you were over there in Kuwait? Because I'm just trying to figure out, because if you were over there with me or not, because we were at Camp Commando, which we were on the other side of the berm as well. And we were waiting to break the berm and all that shit. We had the
we were too.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just kind of curious, because I was over there 03. January of 03 is when I went over there, but I want to say around March or so is when we really did the push in.
Yeah, March
broke the berm.
25th or 24th, something like that.
Somewhere around there. I can't remember the dates exact, but it's no March.
Yeah, it was sometime in late March, I believe. But okay. I can't. Camp Commando sounds familiar, but honestly, I haven't talked to people about this stuff.
Commando, Coyote. I mean,
Doha sounds super familiar.
Camp
but I mean, that was
that
was a big one, right?
Yeah, that was the big one. Like a big army base over there.
Yeah, so that's the one I want to say, but I'm not too sure about that.
Got it.
I remember this. I remember thinking they gave me this big packing list of stuff that I had to pack, and I remember thinking, I'm struggling to put all this in my bag, and I'm going to the desert, and I'm definitely not going to need any of this cold weather gear. And I was
so
really wrong.
So wrong. Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, "Ooh, you were wrong."
Yeah. I was way off on that one,
dude. Because it's literally polar opposite. You know what I mean? Like it could go from one extreme to the other. Because when I got there in January, I kind of was like you, bro, thinking, nothing of it. I woke up in the middle of the night, first day there, with a flood running through the tent because it just like downpoured, and there's nothing to catch the rain there. And I saw someone's boonie cover just like floating down in the middle of us. I'm like, whoa, bro, we're underwater. Like all our sea bags are soaked, and freezing our asses off, man. And then, bro, it gets, the hundreds. Even at night, it's in the hundreds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
It's crazy how quick it can change.
I tell people that all the time. There was a period when we were overseas, and it sounds like you were probably there too at the same time, where they had recorded temperatures of over 130 for like a week straight.
Yeah, dude. I think 136 was the hottest day that I hit over there. And at night, we were still in the 105s. I mean, it was like sitting there with her, like I was sitting there with my canteen, bro, just dumping it on me. And
you were there at the beginning too, though, so you were still on water rations. You get 3 liters of water to drink a day.
Yeah, and we were doing Navy showers.
Yeah,
spraying ourselves, or sometimes it was just wipies.
Yep.
For a while, it was wipies, especially when it first started. Because where I was at, we were just getting like they were launching nothing but missiles on us, and we were running to the scud bunkers all the time. And they had Patriot missiles kind of off in the
I want
distance.
to I want to ask you about that because that might help us determine if we were on the same camp or not
Okay.
in Kuwait. So like we were all moved to station right before the like literally just on the other side of the berm, right? And we were all posting up, getting ready to go. Word was we were going in the next, very soon. And the day before we went in, uh, a missile or something was shot over the berm, and everybody had to put on mop gear.
We were wearing mop gear for definitely. So I
Like,
mean, I was wearing mop gear for a whole day or so, at least.
yeah,
So I'm pretty dang sure, bro, that we are either that or at least close in the same region because, um, did you now maybe you have, do you remember this? We had a really popular general come there, General Franks, and he gave us our little war talk the day before. I think his thing was, oh gosh dang, what's his name, dude? Something Franks, I think, but he was a general army. I mean, in the army, in the general in the army. Let's see his name. Yeah, Tommy Franks.
Tommy Franks.
Yes.
I remember ours was a Wallace, a General Wallace.
Now then, maybe we were at a different spot, but yes, I definitely had Harry Potter.
May I present a magic trick?
No, we had our I guess our pep up talk was with a guy named General Wallace. And he referenced Braveheart a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Why. Yeah, Mr. Wallace. That's funny. Yeah. I was about to say something about that.
A magic trick.
Hey, bud. Can I have a little bit of time?
I'm presenting a magic trick.
That's perfect. You can pass the glasses. Through your glasses? That was the trick? Yeah. You're wild, bro.
I like the tricks, man. But yeah, well, it sounds like we are definitely close to each other and in the same region, which that's crazy. Yeah.
Small world, man, and look, I've run into a lot of people since I've been down this road or whatever, and sounds like you and I were probably the closest so far.
Yeah, we definitely. It's funny because who knows, we may have even crossed paths at some time. When did you actually get in the region over there?
So whatever day it was, and I want to say it was numbers, man, dates and times, whatever day it was, I want to say it was like 11:30 or 11:25 p.m. at night when they said, oh, let's bulldoze the berm down and go in. And we were rolling through the next morning at like 6 a.m.
So you guys got in the region around that same time? Like you guys landed?
No, I mean, we got there in February, but that's when we crossed into Iraq.
Okay, yeah. No, that's what I was asking. And when you got in Kuwait. So you got
Kuwait. I don't know the exact date. It was February sometime.
In February. So yeah, you were literally there a month after me because I went there January. And I want to say we left January 15th. So, and then we had like a couple emergency landings in Germany, finally got over there. But I was kind of an early party and I offloaded a lot of the ships. And then we would take all the Humvees, 7 tons, 5 tons, whatever, load them up. And then the units would come pick them up and take off wherever they were going.
Okay. Yeah, they asked for, we had a couple of volunteers for the early ship details or whatever, but I didn't volunteer. So,
yeah, no one really volunteered. How it kind of worked for us, it was like, here, Roof, here's your orders. You're going to be leaving on this day. I was like, oh, no.
Where's everybody else?
I already knew two buddies of mine that had already went like 2 weeks prior, and I was like, oh shit, man, this is just me being another part of the party. Which,
Dang.
I don't think the way that I went over there, I would have had it any other way. Because, bruh, we went out with a bang and a good time when we were on our way over there. At least we did party like it was our last party in life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it was a good time. But
Yes, maybe not the first one because I was a little bit nervous
yes.
about what to expect. But the second deployment, I definitely partied like I was never going to do it again. For sure.
I can't say that I wasn't nervous by no means, but how I took care of it was the beer.
Yeah.
We were getting our ass chewed in formation, bro. Sitting there swaying as because it was a 0-3 formation. Like, come on, bro. Where are we all gonna do and to go? Went down, found the drinks. Woo!
Lock it up, Roof.
Yeah. Get that devil dog and sit his ass on the curb. Like
Yes,
immediately,
indeed.
bro.
The good times
They
where
are
things
good
were
times.
stranger and somehow way simpler.
It is kind of weird when you look back at it, deployment. Like when I was stateside, at least here in the Marine Corps, stateside was a lot of playing games. Like literally every field days for us were really bad. Like we had to go clean the shit out of our barracks rooms, and they would come in, the company gunnies with white gloves, and literally go to the crevice somewhere in the room that no one is going to think of, like the door jack, and just first room, y'all fucking failed, and then we all come back, we all we're all like at our work, and then we get our fucking like platoon sergeant will have us in formation right before chow, and they'll be like, well, company gunny just said your guys' rooms failed. So guess what? Guess what you guys are going to be doing after work on a fucking Friday? You're like, what? Formation, and you guys are going to be doing field day all day until it gets done right. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and then when we obviously deployed, they couldn't pull all that bullshit with us and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they did find unique ways to fuck with us before shit really hit the fan. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Marines are really, they love the fuckery, and they love to watch guys go down in fuckery. So, it's just one of those things.
One of my good friends is a Marine, and he's never let me live down the fact that well, he was better than me. we still have that same conversation every time we see each other. It's sure. Funny, man. That's a I won't call it a feud.
It's a banter. It's a banter.
Yeah, it's a banter that never gets old.
Nah.
And nobody's gonna win. It's just about who gives up first.
Yeah, and it's like, we're all apart with each other, and it's like if someone on the outside starts doing that, we all will be like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
have each other's back, no doubt, but it's definitely something we do within the pack of different military branches. It's just part of the game, and I think for me, I love all the branches, and I have nothing but respect no matter what anybody, their job was, what branch they served in. To me, to make that commitment in any facet of your life is just an outstanding commitment. And I don't care. Like I said, for me, I mean, obviously take pride as being a Marine, and, in our world, we are the fucking best. And fuck all the rest, but we absolutely love and adore all our brothers and sisters, and and I have nothing but utmost respect.
Most people didn't get to pick their job before they signed the line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, we all took the same oath with the same expectations. Some of us got to pick or got picked for different jobs. So that's really all it comes down to.
And I'll tell you what, bro, like deploying and seeing everybody work together is a unique thing. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing to watch all the armed forces come together, and even different countries, come together and work together and say, we got fucking one mission to go take care of, so that part is a beautiful thing too to watch. And I think that only if you deploy or get that opportunity to cross train with other branches do you get to kind of get a respect for one another and how instrumental each and every one is.
Yeah. We that was a unique experience, actually getting to meet and hang out and talk to people from different even different countries, you know what I mean? Like Polish and Spanish and Fiji. Fiji has an army.
Oh yeah.
That little island. I've met a bunch of those guys, a bunch of great dudes, man. I met some pretty fantastic people.
Oh yeah, me too, man. And I even got I pretty much got the whole uniform from the UK guys, and we would exchange MREs and stuff. I mean, being in supply, it had its advantages. You know what I mean? It definitely had its advantages, and especially when it came to bartering. Like, hey, I got an enchilada MRE. What you got?
No doubt, man. No doubt.
But dude, so let's talk more about like kind of what you got going on now and stuff like that. And, what you started doing as soon as you got out.
So when I got out, I just knew that I needed work, right? I needed to stay busy. It wasn't a time where I needed to sit down and be idle. So I pretty much, rather than hitting the field and seeing what my newly acquired occupational status could get me, I said, I'm just going to go back to doing what I was doing before. And I was climbing cell phone towers. So I called up my old boss and I was like, hey man, getting out of the army, you got a spot for me? I just went back to doing the same thing, man. I just needed to be busy. But different times, as I started to get a little older and a little, I won't say wiser, still working on that. I started to realize that the things that I was doing wasn't conducive to living for a very long time. So I dialed it back a lot, and I went through a few different career changes, but ultimately I settled in the HVAC business, and it's busy. It's very busy down here.
Now, did you find yourself having a hard time adjusting when you got out, trying to go from, being in the army, getting out, and now you got to go adjust to being in the civilian world? I know for me, it was a little bit of a change. So like for you, how was that?
So when I'm thinking about it, I kind of feel like it wasn't, I didn't stay with family a lot when I got out, right? So there wasn't a lot of expectations for me to be anything in particular because I worked on the road a lot. So I was always hanging around with people, and they didn't really know who I was before. So none of that mattered. And for me, the only part of it that made sense was that they were equally as crazy as I was. And so it gelled in a good way and then a not so good way at the same time. So there was nothing there to keep me from being as wild as I wanted to be, and I did some crazy stuff. I mean, I just climbing cell phone towers 200-300 feet in the air, and not even tying off and falling asleep. And I mean, just I just really didn't care a whole lot about a whole anything really. So
Now, is that because did you go through some, mental health issues and stuff from the military? You struggle with PTSD and all that kind of stuff?
so here's where I'm at with that part of my journey. I just kind of moved on with life and dealt with things, and people might say that I'm quick to anger, or things bother me that don't bother normal people or whatever. And I never even really contemplated the thought that there might be PTSD or anxiety and depression, anything like that, right? It's been within the last year that I actually sat down at the VA and had a diagnosis for all of these things. So it's difficult now looking back to say that, yeah, those were the problems, because back then it was just life. You know what I mean? I was how old was I? 20, 25, 26 years old, So that was I was just living life. And now granted, I was living life a little. That's in my face, man. I don't like that. Please stop.
No, it's the American flag.
It is the American flag. That's great. I love you. Sorry.
You're good, dude. You're totally good.
But no, I just there was some times where I can tell you that there was some issues with PTSD in the past, but at the time I just thought it was life as it was supposed to be, So.
And I think, bro, that's the hard part, is that when we're younger, we're very prideful, and trained to not be a failure, trained to not accept failure, because failure kind of meant something in our world, So
Yeah.
that kind of translated when we came out, and a lot of what we do, even raising our kids, sometimes we go back to, like, if you don't listen to me, in your head, you're like, that could be death. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But it's like, we're not at war, but in our head, we're thinking, and even if some shit did pop off, because I'm always like that, like anytime something, if they're not trained or not listening to me, but the hard part is they
Dude,
didn't go through boot camp. You know what
I've
I mean?
literally had this exact conversation with we were in a place where some stuff had gone down, and I'm telling my wife, take the kid, take your mama, and go inside. And they're like, I want to be nosy, and I'm like, I don't care what you want to be. Like,
Right.
I want to be the first thing he sees when he looks this way. That's all I want. Like, he's got me, and I got him, and that's where it ends at. Go inside. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there and had that exact conversation. It's crazy. After almost 20 years, how much training still takes over,
Dude. Yeah. I mean, my wife knows I'm like a Marine through and through. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of always that way when it comes to certain things and making decisions. You know, I too was a lot like you, bro, where I struggled with the accepting of PTSD, and it kind of took me marrying my wife, um, and being with a partner who was able to soften my stuff and not exuberate it and make it worse, because, or add fuel to my fire, because in our lives, there's people that can fucking spark your ass up and really get you, like, going. And then there's
Yep.
people that could kind of, bring you down and help you with your journey in a better, and kind of, focus in a better way, or say, hey, hey, bro, you're fucking freaking out right now. Like, chill out. And then you got to come to that realization. So, I mean, kind of with my wife, it was like kind of starting to accept things like, oh man, maybe this, maybe that, and started pointing things out to myself and starting to realize like, damn, dude, like my patience and my 0 to 60 needle, all those type of things.
Yeah.
It just took a while, especially while you're young too. You don't want to really deal with the fact that you got something wrong with you or that you're the problem in a situation,
Still not dealing with that, man. Stop. Don't bring it up.
and for everybody's journey out there, it takes time, and my thing is when I talk to people, try to cut your journey, that part, try to get there soon as you can, man, because once you can kind of sort through some of it and realize things, and then start kind of actually, for one, learning to live for yourself, because we're always so worried about everybody else. We go to war for everybody else. We fight for everybody, we're fighting, so we're fighting to try to provide for our families, all those things, bro,
Yeah.
and at some point in time, you got to say, I got to be a little selfish. I got to love me. I got to be happy with me. I got to laugh at me. And and that way, when you turn it around, you'll be so much of a better person to everybody else in this world when you find out that you got to love yourself,
Yeah.
and
It'll
appreciate
make
what
it
you're doing.
easier for everyone else. Make it easier for everyone else to accept you. It makes it easier to have the conversations with people about eh, this is what's wrong with me, and like I'm admitting right now that it's a problem, and I know it's a problem, but I need you because from the outside looking in, you could help me with this. You know what I mean? And that's a big conversation for people going through that, are just entering that phase in their life. If there's a partner or somebody that you can trust to hold you accountable in situations, to just point out and just, grab you by the arm and say, hey man, let's step out for a little bit and calm down. So that's, it's not much different than military life, is finding someone willing to be there and do that with you, right?
Yep.
Someone willing to deal with all the bull crap that you bring and say, I still want to be with you, and this is what we're going to do to make sure we stay together. So the battle never ends, man. It really does. You just find new accountability partners, new battle buddies, if you will.
Right.
And if you're Army, anyways, and so that's
We
pretty much
adopt
how
it.
it
We
works,
adopt
right?
it,
It's slightly accepted.
It's a term we can kind of handle.
Uh,
But
yeah,
it is a thing, man, and especially in the world of men, we are, men always were surrounded by a lot of folks that, especially the way a lot of us were kind of raised, is to be prideful, suck shit up, don't really talk about your issues, move on, you know. And to some degree, I agree, but in some degree, I think it's unhealthy too, because there's a certain healthy manner of how we can kind of deal with things. Because the more that we kind of don't deal with it, it will turn into other things in our world, and it will translate out, and we'll act out on that, because we didn't deal with it.
yep,
I got a lot of shit that I have from when I was a kid too, bro. You know, I went through a lot of different things as a child, went through divorce, saw, a really ugly divorce between my parents, and, them hating each other, bashing each other, going through all those things, and I had to keep going down my path. I had to keep going down my journey. I didn't have enough time to sit there and deal with all that shit, man, because I wanted to get out of it. So
Yeah.
my thing was fucking and running. So that was kind of my deal, is to run, run away from things. If I don't like it, fucking run from it, and I think that's
It's
translating
still
now.
kind of, I mean, it still
It's
kind of fits, right?
no, that's what I'm saying. It's yeah. But that's part of realization and owning it. And then at that part, that's also one of the hardest parts for us to do, is own and accept the negative things that we've done, because I've had to do a
Yes.
lot of soul searching and everything with how I raised my two older children, and the way that I was a dad, and I went through a hurt life and a numb dad, and I didn't process and deal with things, so it unhealthily translated to them through me, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm able to have a healthier relationship with them, and now they can choose for themselves how they want to have a relationship with me. But I don't know, man. It's a lot of
It's
realization and knowing things, and that's one of the hardest things as a human being sometimes, is to say, here's all the flaws that I've kind of done, or I've kind of, I know that this is my fault.
but at the same time, and this is my perspective of the situation. At the same time, when you come to that realization and you're able to openly admit that these are the areas where I find myself flawed, then I guess there's a point where you base your opinion of yourself off of what other people say, right? Because you don't really know who you are yet. But when you start figuring it out, you can realize that this is what I see myself falling short of. This is what I see myself not fulfilling what I want to be. And then once you realize it for yourself, that's when you can start making the changes, and you can push to make yourself a better person and mold yourself into who you want to be at that point, right?
Absolutely.
So it's a journey that I think most people would say they wish they had learned or started a bit sooner.
Yeah, because the way that I've always viewed it, and I know I've said this probably several times on my show by now, is that if you go in the world with a lot of stuff all in here, and you don't have a clear mindset, it's hard to walk through the world and give people your full attention.
Yeah.
Because the more clouded of shit you got, sometimes, have you ever talked to someone, bro, and they're kind of like, it feel like they're gazing past you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're listening to you, but they're literally thinking about all the shit in their world.
Yeah.
And because that's someone who's got so much they haven't dealt with, and they like to keep themselves busy to the point where they can't even stop in a really conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just good to try to capture those things at an early point in time and start to deal with it, because you could burn a lot of relationships. I can tell you that from first experience. I've torched a lot of relationships over a lot of my ways and the way that I've come through things.
I concur.
Let's go right back into going your story. So you ended up in HVAC, you said, right?
Yeah.
All right. And
so that's kind of the job side of things. The other side of it is after I got out, and I'm not going to say I had a bitter taste in my mouth, but after the deployments and like you said it, the kind of the fuckery that happens sometimes in the military, right? I just wanted to be done with it. And when I got done, I was done. Like, this was pretty much most social media platforms. So I didn't keep in touch with a whole bunch of people from my service. I just kind of got out and left everything behind, wanted to be as far away from it as possible. And I did for a very long time. I didn't talk about it. Never, most people, if they didn't know me when I served, wouldn't even had an idea that I had served. It was just, it wasn't something I really talked about. And then probably 2.5 years ago, I started getting into just, it's like a light bulb clicked or something, man. And I was like, man, I want to start giving back. Like, there's veterans out there that are struggling or whatever. And I just, I want to give back. I want to meet people. It was more got into it because I wanted to surround myself with people that I could talk to again about that stuff. Right. So I started just looking for sites that had stuff to do with veterans and things like that. And I came across Veterans Whiskey Club and Warriors and Whiskey, which is this little flag behind me. And Jason and them have a large organization. It's really like a Facebook group, and they're doing a lot of good things. But I got to talk to a lot of people then, and then just escalated, went from there. I started getting an idea that I wanted to do a podcast, and I had done a YouTube channel a little while back with some friends of mine about whiskey. I like bourbon. That's where the name Bourbon Battle Buddies came from. So we had a little YouTube channel, and I wanted to do a podcast. So I'm like, why don't I see if I can put a podcast together for veterans and whiskey at the same time? And that's where Bourbon Battle Buddies was born. And I started diving off into the community and meeting a bunch of people, and ended up landing on the People's Patriot Project page, and hung out there for a while. For Mark and Andrea reached out to me, and we started talking and spending a lot more time talking about things, and they invited me to go on their show pretty early on. Honestly, it was probably a fairly terrible interview because I didn't know what to say. Yeah. So, but I went on their podcast, and then we just never left. So I've been with them for over a year now. They're doing great things in the veteran and first responder communities. And the Bourbon Battle Buddies, started a podcast with that briefly, but it was really, it chewed up so much of my time doing 2 different podcasts, or really 3 different podcasts a week, that I felt like maybe at a different time, if my kid was a little bit older, it would be different. But right now he's still in that young stage, and I felt like I was missing so much, and playing and hanging out and doing stuff like that. And I had to make a decision, really. And I had to decide what I was going to do. And I really just enjoyed what was going on over at the People's Patriot Project. And I really enjoyed being a part of that. And so I ended up putting the Bourbon Battle Buddies podcast on hold for a while. So we still do the We Got Your 6 at 6 every Sunday. So I still get to do my podcast. And I'm doing more things now in the veteran and first responder community than I ever thought I would get to do or be a part of. And getting an invite to Hero Stock 2 years ago, I wouldn't even thought of myself as being a hero, much less getting an invite to Hero Stock, right? And I'm still don't, but I'm just saying, like, the amount of things that have changed for me in the past 2 years have been amazing. And it's not just changing for me, it's changing for my whole family, and they've all been extremely supportive, and it's just been awesome, man.
Yeah,
Just been
man.
awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. Our stories are very similar in that manner. But maybe it took me a little bit longer to come back and get connected. Maybe about a year. You had me maybe about a year, but same kind of thing, and it's weird how much. So I started in January. January 9th was my first episode where I released, and it was all by myself
Really?
of this year. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I would have never known that, dude.
yeah, man, I started off, I just literally grabbed my cell phone and I had my old gaming set and it had the little thing and I just started, I was making, I spent so much time making notes and all this stuff because I started off audio only.
Yeah.
And then, I just eventually was like, all right, my next goal is to go video, and then got into it. But same thing, man. I didn't realize that journey would lead me to where it is, to where I am, and to where it's taking me, and the things that's still happening from it,
Yeah.
and I imagine still will keep happening from it because all of us in this group and all of us in our community have a mission and want to save each other's brothers and sisters and each other, and we want to keep making things better and growing. So the more of us that keep networking and intertwining and finding a good community and letting everybody know, hey man, this community right here, we're uplifting, we want to build, we want everybody to build each other up and not tear each other down, and let's be an example to the rest of the world that's falling apart right now.
Yeah.
And gosh damn, we need to be better than that. And who's better to go and than the people that had sit there and we served for everybody in this country. Now let's go make a good example and give them community where they can say, hey man, wow, let's be like these guys. They're not worried about race, color, religion, all these things that we're all worried about over here and getting all messed up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And let's show everybody what it's like to be united and not divided and
That's
how
what
much
one of
things are
my,
better,
yeah, it's one of my big things with the the Facebook group, or yeah, group, and the Bourbon Battle Buddies stuff on Facebook is, it kind of morphed into uh, that feeling that there's enough negative information that anybody can get at any time by watching pretty much any news station. I just wanted to bring positivity, something inspirational, because there's people that I followed on Facebook that really um, sparked a thought process in me when I was going through all this, right? And that thought process is what escalated, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but that thought process is what eventually turned into what all of this is. It changed me because it made me think about who I wanted to be and where I was going. Because like you said earlier, man, there was a point in time where as a man, and the way I was raised, my only goal in life was to make sure my family was provided for. But it took a little while for me to realize that I'm capable of so much more than that, and we all are. You know what I mean? Your
Yep.
family can be taken care of. It doesn't mean that's where you got to stop at.
Yeah, we don't got to corral ourselves. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Um, Literally, the world is, and the sky's the limit, man. And I think a lot of people get scared to step outside of that
Yeah.
crowd. You know what I mean? Because they're afraid that if they do this or that, it's gonna mess that up. But the thing is, I think there's a lot of people out there not living to their full potential
I
because
think
of
so
that,
too.
and a lot of them live for other folks, and they're literally got things holding them back because they're allowing that to happen. So there, a lot of people out there, I don't think are always hitting their full potential in life due to fear, due to other folks, and things of that nature, and sometimes just pure like, oh, let someone else do it. You know what I mean? I think there's even that mentality.
One of those guys on the job site that says, "Oh, that's not my job."
Yeah,
One of them
right.
people.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Uh,
it's like I don't think I've ever worked any kind of union job really. So every job I've ever had at work, it was like multiple types of jobs. Like I
yeah.
didn't really ever work in a union where they're like, no, you drive a forklift, you only drive a forklift.
Yeah, there's none of that for
Nah.
sure. But no, um, I think that's 100% the case. But one thing that I try to drive home to myself, and raising my kid the same way, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I try to drive home the point that everything that you go through in life, right? Like, so you say these blinders are holding you back, or these people are holding you back. There's really, it all leads to choice, right? And no one's responsible for making those choices but us. So once again, we're going back to taking responsibility part, and that's just really what I'm trying to wrap my head around right now too. Is when I mess up, it's not just with fasting or whatever. Like right now, I'm doing fasting, and sometimes I just don't. I don't want to fast. so
Yeah, I got you.
so I'll be like, I'll eat or whatever, and then almost immediately after, I'm like mad at myself, and it's one of those situations where, like, hey, it's your fault, dummy.
And it's a discipline thing,
Yeah,
and that's where sometimes in our inner selves we sometimes lose our discipline to our even our own self and self control. I'm with you, bro. I do the intermittent fasting thing, and there's times where I'm like, oh gosh, another 2 more hours. I'm like,
uh,
like, damn,
no
I'm
doubt.
really my stomach's eating itself right now, but and it's at that point in time, do you go A or B, and you can make that choice, or you can hold tight and kind of have that discipline and not do that. But I think the other thing that us as human beings is a lot of people forget that happiness is not other people's responsibilities, right? Happiness is our own, and it comes from within ourselves.
Yeah,
If you're not happy, don't blame it on everybody else. You know what I mean?
yep,
You can, we have choices. We have the ability to choose what we want. I mean, each and every one of us have that ability to choose things, and other people can't do that for us no matter what. They can, but are you going to be happy with someone else making choices for you? Because what
no,
if they decide that they don't want to make the right choice for you, and you say yes, they're like no, right? So we have to be independent thinkers and also get to the level of like, hey, it's not everybody else's responsibility to make you happy, and so don't sit there and make everybody unhappy because you're miserable, and that tends to be a thing in the world. Miserable people love to make other people miserable.
yeah,
Isn't it
yeah.
crazy?
That's weird.
And it's sad that sometimes those people are in our inner circle, or even sometimes in our bloodline. And at some point in time, you kind of have to realize at what point is it a healthy point for me to love them from a distance,
Yeah,
so to speak. But I got to move forward because that's a thing I think happens that sometimes friends, some of our closest friends, have a tendency to really have ability to bring you down or put you in a situation that you didn't want to be in.
yeah,
you know,
Oh, it happens for sure.
absolutely.
But I'll move on. But there's just one little saying, and I wish it was mine because I love it. But it says, "Happiness isn't having what you want; it's wanting what you have." And that's kind of I always think about that when I think about somebody like, oh man, I just want this or I just want that, and I'm like, if you got it, get it. I mean, but just know that that's not what's gonna make you happy.
Right.
So
And there's a lot of people out there that they have it's like a quick gratification of happy, and it's just a glimpse. Like, oh, I really wanted this new cell phone.
mhm.
You get it. Yeah. Couple months later, it's starting to like not be as cool. Another version's getting ready to come out again. Now that sudden gratification is gone. You know what I mean? You know, it's crazy.
I'm convinced they release a new phone every 6 months. It seems like, man.
Bro, I've given up on that, man. I don't even keep up. My
Uh,
thing is if the screen doesn't crack or, something to that degree, which mine is pretty much destroyed now. I'm like, well, I guess I've reached the level I'm going to have to get a new one.
yeah.
But yeah, man. So, what else? Is there anything else you would like to share with, us and in terms of like, what you got going on in the podcast world and all that?
We just right now we with the People's Patriot Project, that we got your 6 at 6 podcast. Um, there's a large part of it that I believe has helped me out, and you'll be able to attest to this as well. But it's the music side of it, man. Hanging out with people, like, and not even really just hanging out. So there's plenty of them that I don't hang out with, but the songs, like I've never met Sal Gonzalez, but if I ever do, I'm gonna hug that dude straight up and
Yeah,
I
he's
love you,
got some
bro.
great music.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But um, hanging out with Scotty Hastings and Barbara Sim and Taylor Ulam, um, Joe Allen Christie. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Just Derek. Uh, great, great people, man, and just feeling like you're a part of that story. You know what I mean? And maybe that's how they felt when they write it. But I always say this, that the music cycle, it goes full circle, right? So a lot of these artists, when you talk to them, they'll say that they write because for them it's part of the healing process. And then when I listen to the music and I hear the song and it reaches me, it becomes part of my healing process. And so I just think that that's, to me, it's amazing to be a part of. And I don't know, man. I love the music side of things, and I just like being in the middle of all of it, and the chances we've had to help veterans in the past. It's and first responders. Um, I think some big things are happening between all of us as a group, and I'm really excited to see where we all go. And buddy, thank you. I'm really excited to see where we all get to go together. I'm just, I don't know, man. I've never had such a big family before, and I've got a big family.
It's cool, man, that there's so
Not in front of the
many
camera, please.
there's so many journeys of every one of us is a journey.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how all of our journeys have crossed paths now, and Hero Stock was definitely a great point for all of us to plant our seed with each other and just become a big family. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It was amazing, and it was easy when all of us got together. that was the other part. And then, bro, I don't think I've ever really walked away. I'm not even lying. Told my wife, like, man, I almost feel like I'm gonna cry when I was leaving Hero Stock, when the
Yeah.
event was finally over, and I was like, oh, we're going back to the room, and
Yeah.
and now I got to go back home. You know, it was like a quick realization, and it like hit me in my throat for a second, because man, I loved having that, and it's
Yeah.
like, um, I wish I could say I have that here at home. I don't really got that, you know what I mean? And a lot of the people I grew up with have moved on and have their own families, and we've kind of grown apart and stuff. So, um, having that brother sisterhood and just that everybody kind of meshing and just not 1 ounce of feeling any kind of animosity or any kind of negativity. The vibe was just outstanding.
I think that's crazy too. How we all met at Hero Stock, but there's so many of us that really we kind of brought together almost all the corners of America into one central spot,
Right.
and there was like it's just crazy how all of us didn't find any reasons to disagree or anything. Like it was I don't know.
Right. And
It's
that's the
hard
other
to
part
explain
about
unless
it.
you were there.
And that's the other part about it is we all come from different states, different ways of living, and all that stuff. But when we all came together, it was like, I guess back when we were wearing uniforms, it's just like we're all there, and we're all
Yeah.
here in this together. Yeah, we kind of all met each other probably through the screens here and there, but it's a different thing, man. I got to go, meet Jonathan and pick him up at airport. You know what I mean? Like with Jason Steiner. It was like, and I
Yeah.
know he wasn't expecting it at all, and it's just, I wasn't expecting it either. I was like, oh, what? We're going to go pick up Jonathan? Okay, cool, man. I know. Yeah, I know him. you know?
Yeah, that was awesome, man.
Yeah, man, it was a
That
great
was
time. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And he's killing me because he just keeps adding more. And I'm like, bro, it costs me a lot of money to fly to those sides of the world, but you're making me want to go, man. And telling the wife,
yeah.
like, I guess we better start saving up now and budgeting now, because we got some plans up for 2024.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I don't know. I don't know which one. I definitely can't go to all of them, but I don't know which
Yeah.
one I'm going to end up at. But I certainly hope there's a way we can all agree to meet up at one of them and just do it all over again, man.
I did say, L. Steiner, that I have to be a part of the Nebraska one. If that's always going to be there, that's kind of the start for me. And that will be the annual one, I think, for me. And it's centralized. But I'm definitely going to try to probably hit another one or two. But for sure, I think always Nebraska will be one for sure, since that's kind of the home of Hero Stock, so
I
to
could see
speak.
that.
You know what I mean? So I always see that one always being a crazy bash, like the pre-party.
Yeah,
You know, that those were a good time, dude. Like I, I can't express it. I mean, people don't realize you had to be there to experience it, but um, you don't want to miss it for the next one.
for sure, man. I'm not going to say it won't ever get better, but if if that was the best time I was going to have for the rest of my life, I'd be okay with it. Yeah.
Right? I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, it was crazy, dude, because I don't think that I really went in there with like a set of expectations. Um, I already knew the folks that were going, and had I just met and went with the folks I had knew were going, I was going to be. I was like, it already to me was good enough for me to go, because
Yep.
like it's going to be a good enough time with the handful of folks I already know, But just adding in everybody else and all meeting all these other great organizations and great folks, man. And I think the only regret I do have is I didn't get the chance to go talk to everybody, bro, or talk to
Yeah.
people long enough. Like that's
Yep.
one thing I felt like I got cut short because I got so involved with the conversations with the people that I had already kind of met through that it would be just like, I guess by the end of the night, I was like, holy this is already over, bro.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I didn't go talk to
Yep.
many people. You know what I mean? Like, so
I
that's what I
definitely get
think
that.
if that was my regret, it would be that I didn't touch enough hands and shake enough hands and all that stuff with enough people. But that's always, for the next year,
Yes.
I'm going to definitely make sure I already know in my head, like I'm going to be a little bit more on the prowl. I think another thing, bro, and not going to lie, the pre-party did get me a little on the, on
But
the
yeah,
hangover
dude,
side,
we were gone till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, bro. And, I just was, yeah, I don't drink much, so when I'm hanging out with everybody, I drink like it was 1999, you know what I mean? And I'm back in my heyday, and
Yeah.
I let loose like a fucking, cheap drunk, dude. And yeah, so a little bit, I think that was kind of where I was like, I don't feel like I'm going to be walking around much. Water,
Yeah,
please.
no
Water.
doubt.
And
I tried to
I started
that was
drinking more beer again. You know what I mean?
that was one of my big regrets too, man, is that like you said, I didn't get to walk around and I felt like I met a lot of people, but I don't feel like I got to spend enough time to really understand a lot of these people the way that I would like to, you know what I mean? And that's something, one of the main reasons why I'd like to go back as well, just so I can go and tell those same people hi and actually spend some time with them again.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Because I mean, there's just so many people that I wanted to even meet, and in my head, and I was like, I want to meet them, and by the end of the night, I was like, my wife came back with like merch from uh the dad's man cave or whatever, and I want to meet those guys too, and
Yeah.
and she came back with a bottle, and I was like, I didn't get to meet them. You met them, like what? How's this? Like,
I'd definitely bring in my wife next time for sure.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
man.
she's got to come.
Yeah, and I think the plan, talking to Steiner for Hero Stock 2024, it's gonna get even like more family oriented, where jumpers, face painting, even talks of like a petting zoo. Because I think
Nice.
he's getting like kind of a fairground type deal. Um, or it's gonna be on the lake. I don't remember which. There's so much going on with it, but once he nails down it all. But I know that his plan is to definitely make it kind of more family oriented. Because I was like, even like, well, if you do that, then I mean, shoot, man, if you guys got some older kids out there, we can make them the babysitters, and we, if we got our kids in the pre-party night, we can pay them to babysit. They all can make a little cash money. Open up the daycare.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I got to definitely, we got to make it out there. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So it's an annual trip for me. I'll go as long as my body allows me to go.
I'm feeling about the same way right now, man.
Yep.
Body and budget.
That's the other thing. Yeah, because it is costly for sure. I wish I could say it's probably better to drive, but with the gas prices, especially, I mean, I know in other parts of the world or the country, it's probably about $2 cheaper than us, because we're up in the $6 range now.
Wow.
Yeah, $6 a gallon. So that driving
That's high.
it almost is worth flying. Even though, bro, I got the worst luck with flying. I ain't gonna lie. I got flagged on the way there, and the way coming back. And I got told to go stand on the feet print, and they showed me this little diagram, and ping, here's a little red dot on the pelvic area and the buttocks area in LA. So he's like, I gotta extremely pat you down there. And I'm like, what? You know, so they did it. And then leaving Nebraska, whole other airport, leaving Nebraska, same thing. Except this time it only came up on the pelvic area. And he's like, hey, I need to pat you down again. I'm like, yeah, I'm familiar. I'm like, what the fuck?
Aren't you the same guy?
And dude, I'm
Are you
looking.
following me?
I'm looking. I'm like, is this like a protocol? Like every so often, and I'm just like lucky number fucking 5 every time. I don't know, but I'm watching and there's mad people coming through. I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. Maybe I got a lethal weapon down there. That's what I'm going with.
Heck yeah. No doubt.
But hey, man, is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Before
no, man.
we wrap
Just
it up?
If I can do a little shout out,
absolutely, man. I love
to
it,
myself mostly, but I just like to, if anybody out there listening would please go follow the Bourbon Battle Buddies Facebook page or group or something. We there's a page, a profile, and a group actually, but we just do positivity and motivation and inspiration. We'll post some music from a veteran artist, probably once or twice a week. But just I appreciate the people that have came on and followed and stuck with it, because I know it was a work in progress, and it was a little bit of growing that I was going through as well. But I'm excited about where everything's going, and I'd like to take everybody who wants to come on that journey with me.
Absolutely. I love the positivity that you always post from it, man. I love it. I try to share it on my page, and you're more than welcome to share your positivity on Every Day's a Saturday page. It is your page as well, bro. You're more than welcome to post anything and everything you want there. I have no problems or issues with anybody using it as their platform as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And that, and definitely got some things in the work, dude. Definitely want to talk to you guys as well, and keep you guys in the loop of some things that we got in the back in the work, and try to make everything a better community for all. And
absolutely
would definitely love to include you guys. So if there's nothing else, man, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time, and
absolutely,
sharing
man.
your stories, having a conversation with you. I love it. Maybe there's another time we can set up another time and just have a good old conversation between two men. And I think people can learn from conversations from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too is the aside from the interview, I think a lot of the best topics come up in conversation, right? Where you're just talking about stuff. So I like the conversation side of things. I've always said I'm not the person that goes out and talks to people and I don't want to interview people. I want to have conversations with people. You know what I mean? And I think you hit that on the head tonight. And I appreciate being on here, man. Appreciate the opportunity.
I appreciate you too, brother. And I'm glad that I know you and got to hang out with you, and look forward to that time when we get to, hug again and hang out, man.
September 2024.
Gosh, dang.
I see it. I love. I'm gonna have to go into next year's calendar and start adding stuff already, man.
Yeah, we're already like a month down, bro. You know what I mean?
We're late on planning.
September's gone.
That's awesome.
All right, brother.
Good talking to you, Brian.
You too, man. Have a great week and great weekend, brother.
You too.
All right,
good night.
Good night. All right, friends and fam. Well, that wraps up another great episode. And like Jonathan said, go over there, check out Bourbon Battle Buddies. Go give them a like, give them a follow. Great page. A lot of great inspirational quotes in there. And Jonathan is just a great dude. Even though he's in the army, we still love him. But hey, also, you guys go check us out. We got Wacky Wednesdays every Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bring on our nonprofits, kind of give them an opportunity to talk about what they got going on and what they're doing for the veteran community. And then we go into open panel and we do hypotheticals. So if you would love to come join in. You don't got to be a veteran to watch it. It's just a very great show and very informational. We have some really awesome nonprofits that come on there and share what they're doing for the veteran community. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Until next time. Arr.